Hello everyone, this is Joy Holt and this is Monday with the Mayor. We're here in Jasper today with Mayor Terry Seitz. Hello Terry.
Hi Joy, good to see you.
Good to see you again too. I've been missing you.
Well, we've had good reason. We had our police team on and talked a little bit about cops and kids and introducing Chief Schmidt and Assistant Chief Pearson to you the last time. So that was worthwhile for me not being on. And today we'll have another special guest coming on after I'm done.
Okay, yes, great. I can't wait to talk to him. I'm sure people are going to be excited to hear what Bud has to say.
Well, right, it'll be Bud Hauersperger, our Utilities General Manager, and he'll talk more a little bit about the pass-through of the decrease in electric rates, and while a short-term thing, because it's not meant to be a forever thing, I'll let him get into the weeds on that one a little bit.
All right. Well, let's get back to you. I know that you've got the Citizen Academy coming up.
Right. We have our second Citizens Academy, or we hope to have. We want to shoot for at least 10 participants and a maximum of 15, but our first Citizens Academy was held this past year. And what the Citizens Academy is, it's a reflection and it's somewhat of an education that is done because of what I picked up over my years as mayor. We're woefully uninformed, frankly. Our citizens are. There, I think, as a lack of civics in the schools. People do not understand the local government compared to state government, compared to federal government. People have a lot of complaints about federal government, very little about local government. But also there's a lot of things that we do that people may not know. So the Citizens Academy literally is an 8-week course. It runs 4 months, so it's twice monthly. And we get you not only into City Hall, it enables you to do a ride along with the Jasper Police. We take you to the fire station, take you to the wastewater plant, our gas and water facility, takes you to wherever the park department wants to take you, to the street department. You literally are on site into all of the departments will be addressing that. We'll have a clerk treasurers or council members will all be involved, certainly at least at some point during that. And it gives you an idea about what local government, the government that's closest to you, how it impacts your life and how we operate. We want to be clear about things. We're very open about how we do things, but ultimately it's a good way to just learn about where you live.
Okay, now I know you conducted this last year and it was very successful.
Correct.
So what are you looking forward to this year? Have you seen anything you're going to improve on or anything else
we
you're going to add?
We did a review of everything we've done. We took comments from those. I would basically, from what we heard, very little will change. We may tweak a few things, but fundamentally we will stay the same course. There's a course put together, and last year, once you have that under your belt, unless there's a major reason to change, and we felt it was very solid to begin with, it's going to be repeated as often as we can. We would hope that there is interest this year. We've had some already, but we'd like to again get that enrollment up. Contact Lisa Bauer, my administrative assistant at City Hall at 812-482-4255, or there's an email in the release as well. Go online, and we'd love to have you involved. It's going to be an hour and a half. Sometimes it goes a little longer because there are questions, but generally we look from 6:30 to 8 o'clock at night, and you're back home. But if you have a lot of questions or there's tours and things, it may go to 8:30. But it's really good. Those who participated thoroughly enjoyed it, and we want you to know a lot about where you live.
Sure. Is there a deadline people need to be aware of?
First class is the first Tuesday in February. We would probably like to be done, certainly right towards the end of January.
Okay, okay.
And any age, any male, female, young, old, if you're in high school, probably is about the optimal. But if we have a middle school student that can get here or something like that, and you've understood government, we'll be glad to have you. Not a problem. And we've had seniors, we've had retirees, we've had a good number of our Latino community that participated last year. We had media. Hint, hint. And
Yes.
just want to make sure that people know that it's, again, if you're living here or working here and you can spend some time with us, I think you'll go away really like, I didn't know that. Well, that's the whole idea. We want you to know that.
Okay, so the Citizens Academy coming up. You can sign up. You can call the mayor's assistant, which is Lisa Bauer.
Right.
Okay, and she will give you all the contact information, all the dates, all the times.
She owns it.
Okay, all right. Sounds great. Well, Mayor, thank you so much for taking your time
Merry
to be with
Christmas
us.
to you.
Yes, Merry Christmas to you too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, everyone. I am now joined with Bud Hauersperger, and he is with the Utilities Department. We're going to discuss the decrease that's coming up, which, tell me a little bit about it.
Okay, really there's two components that kind of affected our rates this year, this rate study. One is our energy costs from IMPA. Indiana Municipal Power Agency. That's who we buy our energy from. They told us that starting next year, they gave us rates that they will be charging us, and they have dropped around 6%, 7%. So that we just pass through on to our ratepayers. And when we do rate studies, we also look ahead and say, okay, what big expenses or big kind of equipment buys are we going to need? We call them capital expenditures for the next couple years. And it just so happens that we've kind of built up some of our bigger expenses. We've already paid those off, and now we don't really have a lot of big expenditures coming up for the next couple years. So we also incorporate that into our rate studies. And usually those are big expenses are built into the rates, and since there's not that helped lower the rates also.
Okay, and what kind of big expenditures would you be talking about for the utilities department?
A lot of times it's like a bucket truck,
okay.
Things like that, or we usually keep those for 10, 15, 20 years. So depending on what kind of shape they're in, how much usage they get. But we have a good fleet of trucks right now, so we don't see any need to buy those. And our infrastructure, we kind of have routine maintenance expenses that are built into the rates, obviously, but we're not doing a substation or a big build where we would need to budget for a big amount of money.
Okay, and how come this decrease happened this year with the rates being passed down to you lower?
Oh, from the IMPA standpoint?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, just the overall wholesale rate, let's say wholesale rate for power has been dropping. So that's basically what they're making is cheaper to buy. The price of coal has gone down a little bit, and just anything over what they can produce, they go out onto the market and buy, and that has been shown to have been dropping over the last few years. Just that wholesale rate on there, if you're buying it off the grid rate has kind of dropped down. So they're not paying as much. They're passing that through to the Jasper Utilities, and Jasper Utilities is going to pass that through onto the customers.
Okay, and how long do you think this rate will stay stable before you have to increase or decrease, or when does that happen again?
Well, we also did what was called a cost of service study, and what we do with that is we figure out how much our expenses are going to be and how much we need to collect from our customers. And then that's divided into 3 categories. We have residential customers, we have we call it GSS, general services, but it's your commercial customers, your small businesses, your medium businesses, and then we have your industrial rate, which is for the big companies, industrial companies. What we need to do is when we have to allocate those expenses and over those 3 departments and make sure kind of each group is paying their share of their expenses. So when we do that, we've done that with this study. So and we're also looking at what our expenses are, just kind of our overhead costs. We call it facilities charges, for what it costs us to get power to a residential customer or a commercial customer or industrial customer. And we've adjusted those also. By doing that, it's kind of reformatted what everybody's paying now. Like on the residential side, the smaller users, lower users will probably see a bigger and a longer term decrease in their costs, whereas the higher end users will see maybe an increase in 3 years based on those kind of how everything has been redivided. So it wasn't a across the board decrease. It was allocated a little differently than that. So you kind of have to look at what category you're in and how those were adjusted.
Okay, and when are you holding the public hearing for this? So if anybody wants to come out and hear how everything's going to happen in the vote for the ordinance.
We'll have that actually Wednesday night this week at 7 o'clock at the City Council meeting. It's upstairs in City Hall in the council chamber. Okay,
and when will the decrease take effect?
It'll be, I think we'll read the bills in January. They'll be on your February bill, which would be due in March.
Okay.
So
Everything takes time. Everything that's good takes time.
Right, and then nothing works very fast,
That's
you know,
right.
for utilities. It seems like we have a lot of different committees that have to approve, and then
Sure.
it goes to public meetings, public hearings. So,
Okay. Well, Bud, thank you so much for taking your time to sit down and explain this. I really appreciate it.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks.
Thanks.
All right. This has been Monday with the Mayor. I'm Joy Holt.